Okay.
So did you or did you not vote in the primary, and why?
I did not vote in the primary, and the main reason I didn't is I really didn't care for any of the candidates running, to be quite honest. And now and honestly, I think the way that the primary was conducted, or the events leading up to the primary, became almost a three-ring circus. I mean, it's really embarrassing, honestly. And now I think it's basically become a battle of the lesser of the evils, which sadly I can say that's been the case for many of our elections, not just locally but in general. I can tell you who I am going to be voting for. I will be voting for de Blasio, only because actually today is the second anniversary of Occupy Wall Street, and I've been thinking about that because I really think that the past years under Mike Bloomberg have basically been creating a city for the extremely wealthy and for working class New Yorkers. I mean, I tell you, I have friends of mine who work 3, even 5 jobs to barely survive. And quite honestly, the fact that Lotus worked for the MTA does not curry any favor with me. I mean, the MTA is raising their rates again. I'm like, well, that just speaks to the fact that you can't manage terrible mismanagement, and yet they find money to beautify upscale, subway stations and upscale neighborhoods, to build malls, like the new Fulton Mall that they're building. That's not what New Yorkers need. This has basically become a New York for tourists. I go to Midtown now and it looks like Disneyland, which, if I wanted to live in Orlando, I would live in Orlando. I don't. I live in New York City. And everything I moved to New York City is either being totally erased or destroyed. The arts, the culture. I mean, I'm sorry, but Broadway to me is not Mary Poppins or Spider-Man. And basically it's a city of chains now, because that's all that can afford to live here. You got your Applebee's, your Olive Gardens. That's not New York, and it's really becoming more and more impossible for working class New Yorkers to live here. And I think it's very unfortunate that that's the case, but I might be priced out of New York soon, and we need a mayor who's going to address those issues. I mean, we got schools closing, hospitals closing. This is not my New York. It's not. It's embarrassing. I mean, you just walk along 14, we're in Chelsea now, but if you walk along 14th Street, you see an entire street end to end of nothing but panhandlers that you didn't see a few years ago. And St. Vincent's closed. I mean, that has a terrible effect on the community. And what's being done to it, and then to be told we don't have money for things, and I see money going to ridiculous art projects that somehow you had money for that, and who made that decision anyway, but yet you don't have money for basic services, or you're cutting more and more services. By going to the subway at night, half the time the machines don't work, there's nobody working there. You get a real sense of they've abandoned the working class in this city in favor of developers, in favor of setting rents so high. I had an office in downtown Brooklyn, and I know certain developers are thrilled about that. The Barclays Center there, they priced me out of my office because of that stupid Barclays Center. And the irony is we can't even enjoy the things that they're supposed to be bringing. Just to give you an example, I saw a certain artist in Brooklyn for free before the Barclays Center opened at Coney Island, and after the Barclays Center opened, the same artist played again and tickets were over $80, and I couldn't go.